Hey, so in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how we use AI within our $1 million a month sales teams. Now, I wanna be extremely transparent for a second. I want you to work with us. So I'm going to give you the best fucking value that I can to make sure that I can increase the chances of you wanting to work with me and my team. I know it's selfish, but unlike 99.9% of the other motherfuckers that you'll watch on YouTube, I'm being honest with you. So I'm going to provide the best value that I can. But what I will not be telling you here is a bunch of fluff, bullshit that doesn't actually work, but I say it because it's fucking buzzwords. No, right? I've got $1 million a month sales teams, and I want to be showing you how we use AI within those teams to be able to increase output and to be able to make a lot of money with a very small headcount. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is you should not, in 2026, have to review sales calls to do sales training, right? Back in the day when there was dinosaurs walking around, right, to do sales training, you had to manually review sales calls. You had to get onto the training and manually sit there and just stare at the screen and pick it apart. But the truth is that always sucked. And if you're doing it, it sucks. Right? I'm gonna tell you why it sucks. This is what happens. You have a 45-minute call, okay? So the call takes about 45 minutes, right? Let's say the call is this length. You, as a trainer or a manager or whatever you are, you're going to look at maybe this point of the call, this point of the call, and this point of the call, because you're realistically not going to sit there for 45 minutes and help somebody with a call, because there's multiple sales reps, there's multiple calls, whatever. So you review, maybe a total of, 15 minutes of actual call, but that training typically might go for 30 to 40 minutes, right? Because you can just give advice on, 3 different things, and that might be 15 minutes of actual call recording, but it might take 30 to 45 minutes to get that training across. But can you see the issue to where, because you're only doing it, throughout the call, you aren't able to actually give genuinely good advice. Now, the next reason to why it totally sucks and why you shouldn't be doing it, and if you do it, then you hate money, is because it's actually quite subjective and it's very much based on the day and how you're feeling. Right? If you have a sales manager or you do it yourself and somebody wants to get a call reviewed, first of all, you have to wait till you actually jump on a call to get the call reviewed. So that's annoying for the sales rep. You could be having a shit day. You could have just woken up. How good you give feedback on a sales call is, one, extremely based on emotions and how you're feeling, which means that you might review, one call on Monday, and then another call on Tuesday, but the advice that you're giving on both of these, they could be the same fucking call, but the advice that you give is different because it's different day, right? Because you're not going by any real framework. You're just going based off of what you think based on your experience, which is, my friends, extremely subjective. We want to remove any human error or any subjective communication completely. So here's what we do. We have an AI call reviewer. Okay, now I know that you hear it all the time and don't click off just yet, but it's true, right? An AI call reviewer, and this isn't a call reviewer that is built just off of Claude or Gemini, and it's not a reviewer that, you're like, hey, Claude, be a call reviewer and I'm going to give you calls and you have to score it 1 through 10. No, right? We have our call reviewer built on a couple of different things. First of all, we have it built on compliance. So it rates calls based on compliance, and I'm gonna pop screenshots up when I say these things. The next thing we have it on is framework. So believe it or not, running $1 million sales teams and being on the best offers in the world, we actually have frameworks, scripts, and things like that. And so what we do to create a standardized process of reviewing calls is we give the AI every single framework, document, training, script, everything, and we give it. And we make sure that it reads it and that there isn't any AI fatigue. So it says one thing here and says a different thing here. It is actually consistent. And so this is the way of which you can get 1 million sales calls, and every sales call that gets reviewed is reviewed off the same training, same scripts, same beliefs, same everything. So now you have a standardized way of giving feedback and giving training. The next way that we do it is we don't score it on the call completely. We score it based off of sections. So this is what I mean. This might be a section, and let's say that this call was 45 minutes. This is the entire call length, it's 45 minutes. Now, we will actually score the call based on the framework. So we follow a framework with our calls, and it is start, discovery, show and tell, temp check, pitch. So this is the start, this is the discovery, this is the show and tell, this is the temp check, this is the pitch, and this is the onboarding / objections. This is what our standardized framework is across every sales team. So we rate each section out of a score through 1 through 5. This is the biggest difference between ours that actually works and other bullshit reviewers. Okay, because I want you to think about it from a sales rep perspective. Let's say that you give a sales call and it gets rated, the whole call gets rated 1 through 10. So you get 1 score and it's a 7. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, that's great. What do I need to improve? What's lacking? What's improving? I don't know. Okay, so you rate it based on sections, and you can't do this unless you have a framework. Okay, so the start might be a 2 out of 5. The discovery might be a 3 out of 5. Show and tell might be a 4 out of 5. Temp check might be a 3 out of 5. Pitch might be a 4 out of 5. And then onboarding might be a 5 out of 5. Again, that's genuinely how we rated in our sales. I'll show you, again, it's fucking screenshots out the wazoo here. So you can actually see what it looks like to actually have a good call reviewer. Now, I'm gonna finish this point off with some mind-blowing numbers, all right? Because we all like numbers and we all like to be mind-blown. We have, I'm looking at it right now, we have reviewed 233 calls from one sales rep. Okay, so one sales rep, we have reviewed 233 calls. From one sales rep on one offer, 233 calls. Now this sales rep did $595,000, again, showing you everywhere, cash with him alone. Okay, and this, by the way, so you know, is 175 hours plus of calls. If we say that every call is a minimum of about 45 minutes, like an average, is 45 minutes. Do that times 233 calls, and that's 175 plus hours. Okay, and guess what? We didn't have to do a thing. That is 175 hours of work that we didn't have to do. Right, so we didn't have to do it. Now, this is being very selfish for us, but how about we think about the actual sales rep's perspective? Think about how annoying it is where every time I want to get training, I've got to wait till our next sales training. It's pretty annoying. But what if I could just take my calls in the day and then every single call that I take gets reviewed by the end of the day? So if I've got 10 sales calls today, by the end of the day, all of them are reviewed, and I can go into the next day knowing exactly what I need to improve on. Could you imagine how much quicker the growth could be within your individual sales reps? If they could get training quicker, it's absurd. Seriously, right? And then now let's talk selfishly again. That time that you're not spending on the sales training in terms of call reviews, you can spend that time doing other things that are important, right? Whether it's tracking, whether it's enforcing KPIs, whether it's role plays. So now you have AI call reviewer reviewing 200 hours, 300, 500 hours of calls Bang. Now you have you giving whatever training you want to give to then further improve where those reps are. It is insane, and this is one of the things that makes us the most money within our sales teams. Now, before we continue and I show you and talk about, the other things that we do within our sales teams to make an absurd amount of money with a very small head count, like I said, if you want to work with us and you want us to come onto your offer and actually work in your sales, there's a link down below. Right, we do all the hiring, training, and managing. We do all the day-to-day management. We build out all the pre-call processes. We give all the call frameworks and scripts and everything when it comes to sales that allows the sales team to do $1 million a month. We come into your offer and we place it, we install it, and we manage it. That at all sounds interesting. There is a link down below where there is a video. You can check out that video and you can see if you want to do it. If not, fine. If so, see if you even qualify, because we don't work with everybody. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the lost leads sheet. We call it the lost lead sheet. I'm going to put you on some crazy game now, so listen up. Every single Monday, here's what you're going to do if you want to make a lot more money. Every single Monday, you are going to create lost leads sheets for every single one of your sales reps. So if you have 5 sales reps, you will create lost leads sheet for each of those reps. You are going to use AI to scrape your database of leads, specifically leads that have shown previous interest. So think about those leads that showed up to your webinar a couple months ago but didn't book. Or those people that did book a call but didn't buy. Or people that bought a low ticket but didn't ascend. And this could be as far as years ago. We can use AI to scrape every single lead and put together a hot list. And what you're going to do is you're going to give that list to your sales reps every single Monday. You're going to say, hey, look, Daniel, your first priority this week is getting through every single one of these leads on this lost leads sheet. And whoever out of you sales reps books and closes the most people in this sheet by the end of the week, you get a bonus. So now you have an incentive for people to do it. And we made $100,000 from this sheet in a single month for one offer. $100,000 from leads that would not have bought. These are leads that typically get thrown away. With us and our sales teams, those are the best leads. So when we come into an offer, we're not just looking at, how can we make more money with your current leads? We come in, we scrape literally every single year that you've been in business, and we put it onto a massive lead sheet, and then we hit that sheet like a crazy mofo. Right? Like you can see here, just one example of one of our sales teams, I think there's 16,000 leads. Those are leads that were dead. We can see these people showed interest 200 days ago. And guess what? 200 days ago, we're still booking them in. Right? I don't care if they showed interest a week ago, a month ago, years ago. We are outbounding. And that is the difference between what we do with companies and why we get such good results, and when you work with other people that just want to take your money and just basically you sell to the same leads. No, we come in and we sell to a bunch of other leads that you wouldn't have even sold to begin with. It is absurd, truly, how much money you can make with this, like seriously. And so I'm just looking at right here on what type of lists do we have within this sheet. I'll tell you. Again, I'm going to provide you with so much value where every video you watch of other people, you hate because you know that they're not giving you the value that you deserve. We track leads that showed up to a webinar, booked a call, but didn't show. And we have 1.1 thousand leads here. On the next one, and again, this is per offer. This is only one offer. This isn't including other offers, okay? This offer, webinar, showed up to a webinar, didn't book a call. So think about all those people, like it disappoints me, and I am genuinely about to cry because I'm actually crying right now. Tears are about to come out because it's so sad to me that, people put so much effort into webinars and events, and the people that are helping them run their offers, they're like, okay, we booked 50 calls, great result. Let's move on to the next one. It's like, what about the other 3,000 people that attended your webinar? What about those people? Right? You've just left them. What's going to happen to them now? Right? It's like, those are leads that showed interest. Right? I'll give you a perfect example. Recently, we sold to somebody called Alvin. Alvin is the GOAT. He has actually attended for one of our partners, I think it was like 10 webinars. I'll put it here as I do. 10 webinars since January, by the way, which is like 6 months ago. Right? He's been in the pipeline for about a year, right? But in terms of showing up to webinars, he's showed up to six months worth of webinars. And by the way, this data that I'm showing you, chances are you don't even see, right? But anyway, we saw that and we jumped on a sales training with our phone setters and closers. And our phone setter ended up calling that lead and booking them in for a call. That call that phone setter had, so it was an outbound call because they hadn't booked with us. It was 6 months of just showing up to events, no booking, right? Because he thought that he needed more information. He didn't think it was the right time, whatever. So we outbounded, and that was a 38-minute call. Again, I'll pop it up here. And by the end of that, we ended up booking him in for a call. Same day, we closed him for $1,000. Now, the offer is a lot more expensive than $1,000. We just sold him the course only, but we got him in for $1,000. Now he's in the pipeline, so now he's gonna finish the $1,000 course, then we're gonna send him into $5,000, then $16,000, $25,000, etc. But we sold somebody for $1,000, which was somebody that wouldn't have booked and or bought normally. And we did that from this sheet, okay? So the webinars showed but didn't book, we did it from this. The next thing that we do is DM. So if an appointment setter from the DMs books a lead in, they show up but didn't buy, we reach out to them. If they just sign up to the webinar, so you get a lot of people that sign up but don't even show up, we dial them. And then we also dial people that booked a call from an application type form, whatever it is, and didn't show. So those are a few of the categories that we use when it comes to, creating these lists of leads and then prioritizing them for the sales team to then hit. And keep in mind, because we have crazy KPIs, we're doing 200 dials per one rep. So we might have, thousands of leads here, but we're dialing 200 minimum of them a day, right? So we can really get through the list quite quickly, and we can make a lot of money. As I've mentioned, we made $100,000 in 1 month. That's not including every month, $100,000 from 1 month. So it's just absolutely absurd, and I'm really hoping by now you can see how much money you are losing and / not making. The last thing that I want to talk about is data tracking. Okay, so these are just 3 of the many ways that we use AI, but these are 3 of the things that I feel like maybe 3 of the most impactful. Right? Obviously everything matters, but these are 3 of the biggest things that have really allowed us to actually make $1 million a month. So it's data tracking. Now, a lot of people, they track manual. So, if you've got a stoplight report, a manager or somebody might do it on their own, and it's very much manual. And so we have AI do it. One, to save time and get rid of human error, etc., make it standardized, which is a word that you hear a lot from me. And so that our sales managers and stuff can go and do more important stuff. But we also use the AI to be able to track more deeper level things that typically you wouldn't be able to. So let me just list off a couple of things. I'm going to pull it up right here, and we're just going to go through it together. So these are a few of the things that we track, for example, just our DM setters. So we track new conversations, and again, this is per day, okay? New convos So how many new conversations has that DM setter had? We track calls pitch. So we might have 10 new conversations, but if we've got no pitch calls, then we can obviously see an issue. Okay. The next thing that we track is, ready? Hours worked. So we actually track how many hours each individual rep does per day. So we can see, like, because a lot of the times, sales reps, they hire and they bloat their sales team because they think, like, because they're just not getting the numbers that they want. But most of the time, it's just you're not getting the most out of your reps. Like, you think that your sales rep is working, 6-7 hours a day when realistically they're working 3. Right? So if you want to double your money, you can just double output, and to double output, just double how many hours they're working. So we use AI to do this, and it's extremely accurate the way that we've been able to get it. Speed to lead. Okay, again, same thing. Most sales teams will absolutely ramble on about having a crazy speed to lead. You need a 5-minute speed to lead. Well, dude, you don't even track it. Like it's a bullshit metric if you can't track it, and what you can't track, you can't measure. So yeah, we track speed to lead. And as I'm saying all these things, I'm gonna pop a screenshot of that individual thing so you can see what it might look like. So, and again, this is for every sales rep. We also have setter reply time. Okay, so how long it takes for a setter to reply. So let's say that you're having a conversation, how long does it now take you to reply to a lead, rather than speed to lead is more like outbound, okay? We can see here lead reply time. So how quickly or how long it takes a lead to get back to you. We found, and I'll give you some really valuable numbers right now. We found that the longer it takes for a setter to message a lead, the longer it takes for a lead to get back to them. So I'm gonna give you a great example. We can see right here, this is on, just so I remember this in the edit, the 17th and 18th of August. I'm using these 2 days. We can see here, this setter had a 3-minute speed to lead. The reply time for the lead to get back to him was 3 minutes. Okay, so pretty quick. But if we take a look at another setter on the team, his speed to lead was 16 minutes. The lead's reply time back to him, 12 minutes. So you can quite literally see that the longer you take, the longer the leads take to get back to you. Okay, so you can already see just how important it is to know these numbers, because you can make more money by shortening your sales cycle just by knowing these numbers. Then there's one more that I will give you because I don't know, is follow-up persistence. This is a good one. This basically measures how persistent your sales rep is at following up. Does your sales rep follow up 1 time before giving up, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times before giving up? So these are just a couple things that we track with all of our sales teams to make a substantial amount of money with a very little amount of people on the team. So hopefully this has been extremely valuable for you. And hopefully my team doesn't absolutely kill me for saying these things. But like I said, I do this so you can be like, hey, this is a lot to build. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I can ever build it the way that you have it. And you also have more than what you're showing me, because this is only a quarter of what you actually have, Nathaniel. I may as well just work with you. And I'm gonna say, yeah, but let's do that if you qualify, because we work on a complete commission basis anyway, which means that we don't get paid unless you get results. And so it's a no-brainer, because when we work with offers, we don't just do the hiring, training, managing. We don't just install all the show-up frameworks, call scripts, follow-up frameworks, pre-call process. No, we don't just do all of that. but we install our exact software that is on our other $1 million a month offers. So we've got a bit of a tagline around here is when we work with you, we install exactly what's working for our other $1 million sales teams, and we install the $1 million sales team into your sales team, into your offer. That's how, when we work in sales teams, they make $1 million a month. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. If you want to see at all what we offer, there's a landing page. It's the first landing page link down below. There's a video on that page. You can check it out, right? It's actually a landing page for a free audit. So there is absolutely no pressure, because at the end of the day, we work completely on commission, which means that we don't pitch anybody that we don't think we could get results for, because if they don't get, you don't get results and we don't get paid. So it's a completely free audit with me where I actually go over what you have and where you want to go and how you can get there. And we really draw out those steps to make it extremely clear of what we actually need to do and what it can look like if we did potentially do anything together, but only if you want. So I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully you got value. See you next time.